Okay, guys and girls, I got the injectors finally, and as you can see, they're ID 1050X 60mm by 14mm. Alright, these are a little over 1000 cc's, and let's see what's in the box. Okay, so first of all, it's gonna come with this connectors right here. I'm not gonna be using this connector, so I bought the plug and play. That way I don't have to unpin the one from the truck. So I'm gonna put those aside, and I already opened one of the injector bags. So this is how it looks like. That's how you identify them. So ID 1050X, and I'm gonna have to use the skinny O-rings. It's gonna come with this. So for Ford, since this is a really tight application, tight fit, I'm gonna go ahead and use those. And it also comes with 2 decals. Okay, so let me go ahead and install them. I'm gonna be using this crystal lubricant for the O-rings, and I'll show you guys when I install them. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove these seals. This is the new one from this bag. Okay, and I'm gonna add some crystal lube. All right. Okay, so we got one right here. Almost done. Go ahead and bring this box over here. Put a stop to it because I don't want the injectors to fall. Alright, so will be the next one. Okay, so now that I have all the O-rings installed on this new injectors, I remember I used the skinny ones. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more of this crystal lube 111 and install them on the fuel rails. Okay, so now I have all the injectors installed. As I mentioned before, these plugs are not going to work with these injectors. It comes with the adapters, but you have to unpin them. So I'm just going to wait for the plug and play connectors. Yeah. Okay guys, so if you read the manual, the instructions, it says make sure to pre-install all rubber lines that go to the back of the supercharger, as later it will be very difficult. So it says locate the plastic rubber vacuum hose behind the battery and remove 2 plastic lines coming from the loom. Okay, so if you are in the back of the battery, it's going to be this one and this one right here. So I'm going to disconnect that one. Okay, and it's this one right here. Okay, so we're not going to use that anymore. Okay, so I'm going to throw this over here. Okay, but another thing it says, so this is kind of difficult with the sheet instructions from Whipple. So it says install supply 730 seconds by 24 inches. Okay, so let me show you guys that none of these hoses measure 24 inches. So you're gonna have to figure it out yourself. And I think I know the way it goes already. Just by looking at this instructions right here. So this hose is the one that goes, if you guys can tell right here, this one right here. So it's gonna go on this side of the supercharger, which is the driver's side, the passenger side, I'm sorry. That's gonna go all the way to where the battery is at. Okay, and if you guys can see, this one is per Whipple is 24 inches. Okay, but it is exactly, you guys can see over here, 36 inches and a quarter. All right, so this is what they call 24 inches. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and install it behind the supercharger because it is gonna be difficult to install it once this thing is on. So that one's gonna go there, okay? And it's gonna go behind the battery. Then this one, the little one right here, with the 290s, that's gonna go to the evaporator. Okay, so it's gonna be the other 90 on the back of the supercharger. And this one says that is 90 degrees. Okay, well this one doesn't give us a measurement, but this one is the one that's 20 inches and a quarter from tip to tip. Okay, so that one's gonna go on the back of this supercharger, like just like that. Okay. This one you don't want to put any lubricant because you don't want them to come off. Okay. Okay, so back of the battery, and this one's gonna go to the driver's side. Okay. So now we're ready to install this bat board right here. Okay, so I have everything cleaned up right here. Make sure it's grease free. Make sure there's no debris, and once again, crystal lube for the O-rings that go on the back. Okay, so I already got the connectors for the injectors. Oop, I already dropped one. It's right here. So this is what we bought for this vehicle. This is gonna go into the OEM injector plug, and this will go to the injectors that I bought for this one. Okay, so let me show you guys real quick. So that's gonna connect to this right there, and then the new one connects to the old one, just like so. Okay, so there it is. So what I'm about to do right now, because I'm about to install the supercharger, I have this surface spray that it calls it out on the instructions. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray that, and I'm gonna add the Permatex gasket maker to the supercharger itself. That's the part that is not painted. So let me go ahead and spray this. Alright, so just a thin coat, and that'll do it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and install the plugs on the injectors and then install the supercharger. Okay, here we go. So when you do this, make sure you get some help, because this one, it's a heavy monster. Alright, so I got my brother here helping me out. Okay. To the back. Alright, this side. So make sure when you do this, make sure to lubricate those O-rings, and that's your guide basically. So here we go. It's kind of hard to get it without touching the damn Permatex. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this thing is already in place. All right, so you just make sure everything looks good. Let me get the flashlight so I can show you guys. Make sure that the actuator, make sure that that's all the way in. That's the only thing you got to worry about. So right now it's sitting on the flange, and everything looks good so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all the nuts. If you guys can see on the bottom, they're gonna be a bitch to install those nuts. We'll get it done. Same thing on this side. So this one's right here, and there's like 3 on each side. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. But there it is. Finally installed on the Harley. Okay, so you guys can see, that's what you want to see, the squeeze out of the Permatex. So I still got to tighten this one down. As you can see, there's not enough squeeze outs. because that nut it's still loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that out, and I want you guys to see the squeeze that with me. Right there. So that's our squeeze out. That's what we want to see. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and torque everything down. I'm gonna go ahead and do this side too. Okay, as you guys can see, we barely have squeeze out on the back. We got to do the front ones too. And as long as we see all that squeeze out all around the supercharger flange, we are good to go. Okay, so let me go ahead and torque everything down. Okay guys, so the next thing I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be using this wiring extensions for the IAC and the TPS. Okay, so I already uncovered all of this. So this is for the TPS and this is for the IAC. Okay, and if you look at the wires, I already have two already done. Okay, they come pre-cut. So what I'm gonna do, and it looks like it's gonna reach. Okay, so it is right there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it and about right there all together. Okay. Now we have an extended IAC plug, and right now I'm about to do the TPS plug. Okay, so this is how you do it, guys. You know, you can do it many different ways, but I used whatever came in the kit. Okay, so let me go ahead and do the other one, and I'll show you guys the final product. Okie dokie, guys, so I have my wires all ready to go, head shrink and everything. So here they are, final product. So that one's gonna go to the TPS. Okay, one thing I want to mention is before you install this supercharger and the intercooler adapter plate, make sure you install the alternator positive cable. Okay, because once you put this plate, you won't be able to do that. You see, maybe you guys can tell, but it's over there in the bottom. Okay, so, and another thing, the coil relocation. So it's gonna come with a little bracket. Install that before the injectors, because if not, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. I had to do that after, because I couldn't tell where to lock it. So I had to do that after. It wasn't too bad, but it makes it a lot easier if you install it before this supercharger and the injectors fuel rail. So with that being said, now I can install my throttle body, and the kit comes with the gasket, but it's not going to work for this application. It's a little different, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the old one. Okay, so with that being said, now we have the TPS cable. Now we can put it back over here and plug it back in. Okay, so just like so. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish that, and we'll see what's next. Okay guys, so I want to show you how I connected the vacuum lines. So we're gonna start with the easy ones for this instructions right here. So here we are. So first, brake booster. Okay, so brake booster goes to the first one right there, first one on the supercharger. So from here to there. Okay, then the next one will be the E valve. It's gonna go to the one in the middle. Okay, the one with the 90-degree elbow attached to the supercharger. So that's gonna be this one right here, all right there, and then it connects to the one in the middle. Okay, I cut them. You don't have to cut them, you can just loop them around if you want, but this truck is never going to go back to stock, so it's just extra hose, and I just cut them. Okay, so you can leave them as is. If you're ever going to go back to stock, then you have everything stock, the length and everything. For the solenoid, the bypass actuator, which is this red hose, if you follow it. Okay, so if you follow it, that says to connect it to the intercooler adapter plate, and then from there to the fuel pressure regulator. And if you have a boost gauge, which I might install one on this truck, then you can just use the T fitting and connect the boost gauge in the same line. Okay, so what I use is some of the stock lines. I disassemble them all, and this is what I got. So you're gonna use this red hose right here, the long red hose, the 1/8. You're gonna connect it to your actuator on the back of the supercharger, down right there. Okay, and then you're gonna take it and assemble it into here. This is a double fitting. Okay, so 2 and 1. That's what I did. So I used the long red hose connected to this one, and then I'm gonna use this little one right here. That's gonna go into the fuel rail pressure regulator. Okay, and then this end will go right there on the adapter plate, right there. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see, but right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so remember this. So the pressure regulator on the fuel rails. Okay, and that one's gonna go right there. Okay, make sure you put some grease or lubricant, because they're a pain in the ass to put in. And now we're just gonna push it all the way in, okay? So right there. So this is what I was telling you guys, okay? That's gonna go right there in the, that's gonna go right there in the adapter plate, okay? That's for your boost. And straight 2-year actuator, okay? On the back, on the side of the supercharger on the right hand side, okay? Okay guys, so for the hoses that go connected to the air intake, there's 2 hoses that come in the kit, okay? They look exactly like the ones from, well, not exactly, but similar. The ones with to use with the intercooler. So I already got it figured out for you guys. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use this one. Okay, the one that looks like a question mark. I'm gonna go ahead and insert this one, and that one's gonna go to the valve cover, and that'll be the green one. So driver's side valve cover to the one that's closest to the supercharger. Okay, so go ahead and take these off, put it right here, okay, put it back on there, valve cover. And as you can see, it's a little long, so you're gonna cut it right here, right when it starts turning. You just kind of want to have this straight, so go ahead and cut it right there. Okay, that's gonna go to the bottom port of the supercharger or the intake, just like so. Okay, so there it is, right there. And then this one is gonna go right here on the supercharger itself to the other, to this one, to the what is this one called? The intake, I'm sorry. So IAC to intake right here. That's the older port on this elbow. Okay. That one I don't think you have to cut it, but let me see. Yeah, I wouldn't cut it if I was you guys. So there it is right there. That's all you need. Remember the middle one, we're gonna cap that one. Okay, so this one doesn't have a middle port out, I can see, but the original tube or elbow, that one does. So this one only has 2 fittings. Okay, 1, 2. So I've covered the green, blue one to the IAC, which is this one right here. Okay, so all we have to do is just make sure this is not on the way, the gas pedal. Okay, so okay. So when you put this one on, this one was broken already, okay? Don't blame me. Okay, so I gotta figure this out because I don't remember how this one goes, and it's gonna go somewhere like that, right? But might be some changes. Okay, so let me figure this out, and I'll be back when everything's connected. So at least we got this hoses connected, right? So if you want to trim it, you don't want to have this this much of hose. You can just cut it, you know, however you want to do it. But that's how I connected those hoses for this diagram. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. So now it's time to install this supercharger pulley, and this is going to be a 4-inch pulley, as you can see. So the one thing you have to check is the alignment, and the way I do it, all you have to use is a straight edge. So let me show you guys over here. So you're just gonna align it with the idler pulley right there, and as you can see, we have about a 1/4 inch gap. Okay, so this is the shim that we have to use in between the supercharger and the pulley, so that we can get a perfect alignment. So let me go ahead and do that for you guys here. So I'm just gonna add it temporarily there. Just put it right here. That way I don't drop this pulley. Okay. So I know it's pretty flat, so let me go ahead and use the straight edge again, and I can show you guys that now it's gonna be a line. Okay, so just like so, and as you can see, no more gap. Okay, flat on this one. I don't know if you guys can see, but right there, flat, and no more gap. Okay. Another thing I bought for this truck is this EGR delete plate. One thing I want to say, if you're a tuner, man, if you do that kind of shit like that, you suck. You know, just buy one of these damn plates. It's 10 bucks. I bought this one from Amazon, second day. You know, it was already here. 10 bucks. Don't weld that shit like that. That looks like shit, bro. You know, I mean, I'm not a tuner. I'm not a mechanic by trade, but I wouldn't even do that. I just ordered this damn plate. You know, but that's just my opinion. You know, you guys work the way you guys work, so that's just me. I like perfection. I like to make things pretty too. So with that being said, let me go ahead and install this pulley. And if you can see here, it comes with shorter screws and longer screws. So I'm gonna put them side to side. So since we are using the little shim on the back, we're gonna be using the longer ones. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add some Loctite and install that. Install this. Those hoses, I have to install those right now. Remove that ugly ass EGR, and then put the new plate in there. Connect all those hoses. The booster, I have to cut these wires and then extend them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all that. And then final, might be working on this power steering reservoir relocation. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do all that, and I'll get back with you guys. See you soon. Yeah, so I have the pulley installed, torqued to 110 inch-pounds. Look at this shit. Look how that looks now. Look how clean that looks, man. See? 10 bucks. That's all it is. Makes a big difference. Okay, so now I was reading the instructions, and it says that I might have to trim the stop that's on this belt tensioner. Because if you see, I'm gonna put you guys right here. Look at this. Now this one, the bottom pulley, it's been replaced. I don't know if it's bigger than the original or smaller, but this is another problem you're gonna have when you buy this kit. Now it says to, like I said, trim the stop to give it more slack, but I'm gonna trim it. I'm gonna take it off and trim it, and then I'm gonna see if that's gonna be enough. But if you can see right here, that's not enough. Okay, this one goes just like that. See, there's no way. Okay, that's all the way. So I'm gonna have to take the belt tensioner off, trim it, and hopefully that'll give us the slack that we need so that we can put this belt right here. Okay, remember this one now it's a 4 inches. I believe the one that I had before is a 3 inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, trim it, and then try it again. All right guys, go ahead and do that. Okie dokie guys, so I have removed the belt tensioner for the supercharger, and this is what the paperwork says. So it says you will need to remove the stop of the tensioner to gain more travel. Grind or file tensioner stop flat to gain more travel. Reinstall tensioner and torque them to 20 foot-pounds. Okay, so this is what they're talking about right here. I'm gonna go ahead and grind that flush, and that'll give me more travel so that I can reinstall my belt to the new supercharger. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grind this off. You guys want to watch it? Yeah, you can watch it. If not, you know what to do. Just speed up the video. All right, let's get to it. So there it is right there. That's all you need to cut. I'm gonna go ahead and polish that real quick. I have the tensioner back of the truck. So remember, the trimming was right here. Okay, that's the trim. Let's see if you guys can tell right there. That's where the trim was. So now I'm gonna go ahead and try the belt again. It's the same belt. Hopefully it works. Hopefully Whipple didn't lie to me. Okay, go ahead and reinstall this. Okay, so it's not working like that. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it on the belt, on the pulley first, and then try to put it in the idler pulleys. So it makes it much easier. Okay, I'm just gonna try to put it in there like that. Okay. Okay, guys and girls, so I got tired of messing with that damn belt. Just to find out that belt was not gonna work with this application, okay? So the belt that I bought is this Micro B from Gates. It's 80700. And this is the one you need if you're gonna go with the 4-inch and a 9-inch crank pulley. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see, there's limited light down there, but that's what I have. 9-inch crank pulley and 4-inch supercharger pulley. Okay, the belt that I had in the past with that pulley, this is not the original either. The belt that I have with that pulley is this one right here. It's also from Gates. Now, of course, this is prettier because it's green, you know. It's got more style. So the one I had, it was the 685. Okay, so heavy duty belt. And the one I got was 700. Okay, so it's only a half an inch longer, and it's an exact fit. I mean, you can do it yourself. You do have to trim that tensioner, so to give you more slack. But yeah, it's not too tight, not too loose. That's the perfect size for this application. Okay, so I already connected all my intercooler hoses. I ordered the antifreeze, and it says to use water wetter, so I ordered that too. And the next step, I'm gonna be working on this filter box. It looks like I'm gonna have to cut this this box right here, because if you guys see, if I use the new elbow, which is this one, you know, it's just not gonna fit. Okay, so I'm gonna have to, you know, order a new filter, a shorter filter, and then probably cut it right there, you know, and just make a nice cut and put it back where it was. So because I have to use that what's it called, ambient air temperature sensor or something like that. So I do want to have that connected. Okay, and that's gonna go right there on that hole right there. Okay, so I'm gonna work on that. Before I forget, I'm gonna go ahead and add the supercharger oil, and this is also in the kit. And if you read it, it says do not use other oil than the oil provided. Okay, so if you're gonna use another oil, your warranty is gonna be voided. Okay, and this is gonna take the whole bottle. Okay, it's not full. I just added a little bit, you know. It's up to that line right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the supercharger. And it says it has to be on half, so it can be all the way full. So just keep an eye on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and add all the oil and see if it's on full. Let's see. I mean, not on full, on half. Let's see. There it is. I can see it right there. Okay, let's drop. Okay, so let me turn on the flight so you guys can see. So right there, it's about half. All right, so that's the level that you want to leave it at. Okay, it doesn't go full. You guys can see everything is good to go. All right, all the backing lines are connected for the diagram. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and install the tune that the tuner gave me to the truck so I can start it, check for leaks, check that everything's good so that I can take it to the dyno on the 12th of December. Okay, so let me go ahead and add the tune and start it. Okay.